Aries, what's going on, babe? What's going on, little baby? As you are coming into this space, I am sending you all the good energy and positive vibes that you may need at this time. Before we get into your reading, I would like to let you know that if you are interested in booking a session with me or following me on any other platforms that I have, then make sure you look in the description box because all that information will be there, okay? And if you do like or appreciate good energy and positive vibes and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, okay? Please and thank you in advance. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this deck that I'm shuffling, the Thoth Tarot, and I'm going to get the overall energy, right? Like get just some energy, the collective energy for Aries. And then I will clarify some of those cards. And before we close out, I'll go into the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck, okay? So I did y'all reading once and then some whole other stuff happened. The energy was like whatever the energy was like, and now I'm doing it again. So this is why y'all actually came at the end of what's going on here. I know y'all was like, where Aries is at? Why she do all of those and then skip Aries? I didn't. I just had to come back to it because I had to be obedient. Okay? Spirit, you know what's going on. You know what they need to hear. Can you please give us the cards that will allow me to deliver the message in a way that they'll be able to receive it with an open mind and open heart? We got a couple out. I need a few more. Something flipped over. Hold on, y'all. Boop, boop, boop. We're looking for one more. Cool. We're looking for one more. Spirit, can we get the last card? Can we get another card? And one actually became, what, 3 it looked like? Okay. Okay. Alright, what's underneath y'all? Excuse me. Ooh, okay. Underneath it all, there's the 10 of this. So this is talking about like your security, your stability, your finances, right? Like in the material aspect. At the bottom of this card, it says wealth on it. So it's like the energy of becoming more stable, becoming more secure, raising your finances, or, you know, evolving in those areas, in those aspects, okay? So let's get into it because I want to see now. I want to see now. For starters, we have the Knight of Discs, right? This is the Knight of Discs. And this is talking about like some stagnant energy, holding yourself up, right? If you look at the illustrations of this card, it's like I'm in the middle of the field. I'm in the middle of the field and I see which way I want to go, but I just ain't really making the moves to get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's really the energy of you holding yourself up. With the 7 of Discs is because, right, it's indicating that it's because you have this fear. Listen. What they say about fear, false evidence appearing real, right? That's one way. Or face everything and rise. All right, like face everything and rise. So it's like you're holding yourself up because you're afraid, whether it's a failure, you're afraid of looking like a failure, you're afraid of having to let go, you're afraid of having to start over from the beginning. Like you don't want to let go of what you're doing or what you have now because you're uncertain of whether or not you're going to come into more. Listen, when you make that shift, you know how they say things like everything that you're waiting on is on the other side of fear. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you want in life is waiting on the other side. It's on the other side of, how can I describe that? There is something that you won't do or that you haven't done, right? And everything that you desire is on the other side of that. Do you understand where I'm going? So it's really trying to talk to you and tell you about like focusing on your foundation. Not your foundation in your relationship, not your foundation that you know that you were born into, where other people have built this foundation and just included you into their expectations. Is really calling you to focus on your foundation, you building your own foundation, figuring out who you are, what you need to do for yourself, and things of that nature. What are you going to do to build you up, right? Like who at the core of it all is you. You came into this world alone. Trust me, you're going to leave this world alone. Even if you have a twin, y'all didn't come out at exactly the same time. One had to come out before the other, right? So when you start focusing on your foundation, then you will start like coming into or recognizing the abundance that is clearly all around you, okay? This is the Three of Cups. And this is definitely talking about abundance. It says abundance on the bottom of the card, okay? But you see how it's like abundance is all around all of this, right? It's all around all of this. And when you start to tap into your abundance, it's like you're going to be pouring so much into yourself that, like, you know how they say my cup runneth over type of energy? You start recognizing it and realizing it and operating in it, then the people around you, it just like, it becomes like the ripple effect. I was finna call it the triple or the trinkle effect, but it's like the ripple effect. So Spirit is calling you pretty much to recognize the things that make you happy at the core. And that may be a complicated thing for some people. Like, what really makes you happy? Some people be like, well, my family make me happy, or being with my kids make me happy. So outside of that, right, before you actually had these friends that you have, or before your kids was involved, what were some things that actually made you happy? Just like you know what I'm saying? From the inside. And that is really like you starting to build the foundation, like recognizing yourself for who you are, not just focusing on who you become, like who you gradually become over time because of your situation and your circumstances or what's going on, like, the events of your life or the things that you witness. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has this core thing within them where there is something that makes you happy, right? Or that allows you to tap into your happiness. Excuse me. And it's almost like start planting your seeds in the places that you actually want them to grow. Start planting your seeds in the places that you actually want them to grow. So, for instance, if you're in a relationship and it's not going how you want it to go, like it's not giving what relationship or true love or genuine love is supposed, or you feel like it's supposed to give, right? And I say you feel like it's supposed to give because everybody has their own idea or their own vision of what true love may be or what it feels like to even experience that, right? So if you're in a situation where you're not experiencing that, but you're pouring your all into it, trying to get it out, you're planting your seeds in a place that you really don't want them to grow, because you don't want those seeds to keep on growing in that toxic situation or that relationship or whatever that's not in alignment with what you see yourself being a part of. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you want to experience like true love, start being in a position to plant those seeds into yourself, because you honestly have to be in a position to love yourself unconditionally, right? And genuinely before anybody else does. And that really like sets the bar for a lot of things, because it's like, based on how you treat yourself, you'll know what you want to accept or what you want to tolerate from other people or not. You understand where I'm coming from? So with them having the Prince of Cups here, it's like you be getting triggered emotionally, and you don't give yourself the time and or space to really what's going on with my throat? You don't give yourself the time or the space to process, identify even. You don't give yourself the time or the space to identify the emotions that you actually feeling so that you can process them, so that you can like start to understand, okay, this is why this is happening. This is why I feel this way, right? And it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. Cause listen, on the surface, we generally use like happy, sad, mad, frustrated, irritated, we use like general emotions. And maybe you gotta look up, maybe you need to look up like what are what are some different emotions, right? Go look up what emotions are, because when we were taught to identify certain things that we feel with general emotions. So you can be getting aggravated or annoyed, right? On the surface, you'll be like, you about to irritate me, you about to make me mad, and you're not even really being irritated or getting mad. What can be going on is like your anxiety could be messing with you, and then because you don't like the way that your anxiety makes you feel, then you end up being mad. You get what I'm saying? Or you end up being irritated, or you end up being annoyed. So you really want to just kind of like go through like what's actually happening with you emotionally, so that you can really identify the emotion, where it's coming from, how you can overcome it, what is it trying to tell you, right? Because your emotions are clear indicators of whether or not you're in alignment. Y'all gonna hear me say that a whole lot, right? It's clear that your emotions are there for a reason. They're not just there just because like they, but we're not taught how to work with our emotions for the most part, right? Maybe if you had some type of class or course or something in school or outside of school, right, where anger management or something like that. So it's like, just start paying attention to the things that actually trigger you emotionally, and by you doing these things is what's going to lead you into that space of being stable and feeling secure, right? Basically having a healed root chakra, and your root chakra is located like at the base of your spine, and it's in control of your security, your stability, your safety. You understand where I'm coming from? And if you're in a position to where you feel unsafe, whether it's with your friends, your family, and your job, and your relationship, you know what I'm saying? It's certain, you got to understand and know, like, I'm always safe, I'm always protected, everything is happening exactly how it needs to, right? Opposed to you like over worrying yourself or wondering too much about the what ifs or the negative aspects of certain things. Okay? I definitely hope that makes sense thus far. Well, it should. I don't really want to say what it should or shouldn't do, but it makes sense to me. So it's almost like, stop holding yourself up, stop holding yourself back. Like, it's time to start doing the work. It's time to start doing the work. It's time to start doing the work. The biggest thing that I take from that is to start recognizing and realizing what actually contributes to your happiness. Like, what is the things that make you happy? Not being a daughter, a mom, a friend. Like, no, none of that don't matter at this point. We're talking about you, right? On a soul level. What actually contributes to your happiness? Spirit, can we have the cards that clarify the Seven of Discs? Can we have the cards that clarify the Seven of Discs? I feel like something flipped over. Did it? Yes, it did. So far, we have the Prince of Swords. We have the Lust card in reverse. And the Five of Swords. So it's all in your mind. But I would like to assume that you know that already. Like, when it comes down to this fear of letting go or whatever the case may be, or not wanting to feel like a failure or whatever it is, right? You got the Prince of Swords, the Lust card in reverse, and then the Five of Swords. You're letting your thoughts control you. You're allowing your thoughts to keep you stuck and keep you stagnant based on you thinking about the low vibrational parts of things, right? Just as well as there is the negative parts, like, oh, well, all these bad things can happen. There's a whole bunch of good stuff that can happen too. But since it's easier for you to associate yourself with the problems, right, instead of the solutions, or with the negative vibrations instead of the higher vibrations, it's like you receive what you perceive, right? When you perceive things to, like, they're gonna happen this way, then you align yourself with that energetically, and then you manifest it, and you wonder why. You be like, I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen like that. Yeah, and you created it that way based on the actions that you took or you didn't take. And you know what I'm saying? You set this shit up for yourself to turn out this way. So just be mindful of how you really have the power to create the experiences that you want to have, right? It's up to you. It's either like you keep yourself where you're really not comfortable because it's familiar and you've normalized it, right? or you move forward. Both of them gonna be uncomfortable situations, but one of them gonna lead you into a better place than the other. Trust me when I tell you that, right? Because just because it's uncertain on the other side of how things are going to turn out doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna go wrong, or doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be bad. And just because it doesn't play out how you expect it to the first time around, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. Be willing to see it through. Be willing to see it through. Stop doubting yourself. Stop sabotaging you, like self-sabotaging yourself. Get out of your thoughts. Stop letting your mind control how you move forward. You have control over these things. And that's just really something that you gotta accept at this point. Spirit, can we have the cards that are gonna clarify the Six of Swords? That's 2. That is. So, do you realize that you are holding yourself up? And I'm asking that because you get the Knight of Disc in reverse. You got the Queen of Disc in reverse. You got the Queen of Cups in reverse. And then the Ten of Disc. Remember that Ten of Disc was still underneath it all. So when you realize that you're holding yourself up and you're keeping yourself stuck in a certain position because you're too focused on the things that have happened in the past, you're not gonna be like you can't even see what's in front of you because you're so focused on what's behind you. You can't be looking behind you and in front of you at the same time. Are you understanding where I'm coming from? Is this making sense to you? Because if I turn around, I can't see the camera no more. I know it's there, right? I know the camera is there when I'm looking this way. I can't see it, but I know it's there. That's the kind of energy that you give it. I can't see it, but I know it's there. So why allow your emotions, like, it's like you're not really expressing yourself. You ain't really expressing yourself. It's like, come on now. Be willing to exercise. Be willing to exercise your throat chakra and express yourself. And not just verbally, with the way you do things, how you move, how you dress, like whatever it is. You have this, we don't express ourselves in the same way. Look at me. I'm talking with my hand. When some people talk, they don't speak with their hands. They may have their hands like this, like it's levels to this shit at the end or the beginning of the day. Okay, so realize that it's you that's keeping yourself stuck and stagnant because you are allowing yourself to stay too focused on the past situations that have happened, things that are behind you. If they're not happening right now in this moment, let it go. Right? Take whatever you need to take from those situations of your past and utilize the wisdom, the knowledge, you get what I'm saying, that you have acquired from those past situations, and allow yourself to learn how to express yourself effectively so that you can get into your stability, your security, your financial wealth. I'm just looking at you because I know, like, you get it. This ain't even, you knew this already. This is something, you know this already. So what, you just needed me to come and, do this video, do this YouTube, right? Because now it's just like confirmation. It's confirmation. Spirit ain't used me to deliver this message just because it sound good. Ain't no way. You know what's up. Quit playing. You know what's up. Quit playing. Spirit, can we have the cards to clarify the Prince of Cups? We got the Seven of Swords. We got the Priestess and the Nine of Swords. It's not as complicated as you make it, baby. I do get it. I do understand and overstand. Like, sometimes we don't want to have to tap into our emotions, right? And that's pretty much where a lot of the healing comes from. So that stuff that you focused on in the past and you pulling your past into your present and then projecting those things into your future, you heal yourself from that stuff of the past by dealing with it emotionally. Like, it's really a shift of the mindset that has to happen, because whatever has happened is almost like you only see it in the negative aspect. You're not taking it for what the lessons that it brought you. You're not looking at it in a more high vibrational way. Like, what did you learn from the situation, right? you where you at now, are you not happy or satisfied that you're here and you're not there? There was a reason why those things had to happen in order for you to get into this space and this place that you are in now, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, or whatever the case may be. So just keep your focus on you, right? Raising your vibration, like feeling good about yourself and what you do and the experiences that you have had. And there is a way. Listen, and I'm not saying this trying to be inconsiderate of your feelings or your life or the situations and circumstances that you have went through or experienced, okay? I'm saying this because it's necessary. Like, focus on you, raise your vibration, and don't try to hold on to the things that have happened in the past. They happened. Yeah, they did that. They're not happening now. So you don't have to keep yourself in a position to keep on having these experiences over and over again mentally. You can heal from them. Either you changing or you choosing. It's up to you. But sucking the life out of yourself from this mental standpoint with this 9 of swords here, right? Sucking the life out of yourself just based on your thoughts. Whether you're putting yourself in a place of depression, whether you're putting yourself in a place of anxiety or, unsatisfaction or whatever it may be for you. Now is really the time to let loose. Like, put one foot in front of the other. There is resources, there's assistance, there's guidance, there's support, there's therapists, there's mentors, there's coaches, there's people out there. There are things out there that can assist you in, your evolution, your journey, your whatever you want to label it as. You just got to be willing to invest. And it don't necessarily always got to be money. Sometimes it's just the energy, right? Sometimes it's just the time that you need to invest in yourself. Be mindful, baby. Be mindful. As I stated, we are now going to go into the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. Spirit, can you give us a card out of this deck in order for us to close off the reading so that the Aries can know what their message is out of this deck? All those fell. We taking the one that turned over. It says gray, right? Endings are inevitable. Do you hear me? Endings are inevitable. So when let it end. Let it end. You don't have to keep on keeping on in the energy that's not even present, right? It probably happened 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Even if it was 6 months ago, 6 days ago, right? When a situation ends, allow that situation to be what it is or what it was in that moment. You don't got to keep on keeping it alive. You don't have to give life to dead situations. That's a choice. So, let's get to it. Like, get in your bag, your money bag, your peace, your stability, your security. If you can visualize yourself at your best, like what does life look like for you when you're operating in your best or at your best? You ain't got no cares, you ain't got no worries in the world. All your bills paid on time. The relationships that you have with people, whether they're intimate or platonic, they bloom and they blossoming, right? They're supportive, they're healthy, right? Money flowing in, everything just going exactly how you know it could go. What do that look like for you? Envision that. And once you start to see that in your mind's eye, then you'll know, like, okay, what steps do I need to take in order to get myself from point A to point B, from point B to point C, and so on and so forth. Take it a step at a time. You ain't got to complete all of it at one time. And sometimes most times, that be the reason why we hold ourselves back, because we only look at the big picture, and it's like, well, I can't go from here to there. And it's like, okay, but if you break it down into steps, if you break it down into steps, well, that's gonna take me too long. I'm trying to get up over there. It really ain't. Like, it's really not gonna take as long as you probably think it's gonna take. Okay, and that goes back into that Five of Swords energy where it's saying get out your mind. Stop thinking about the negative parts of it. Stop self-sabotaging. All right. That is what I have for you on the table, Aries. Until next time, babies. Enjoy yourself.